Hello, good evening everyone. Hello, good evening, good day, good morning, wherever in the world you are. My name is Donna McCallum.
And I am Timea Kulcsar.
And we are so delighted to welcome you to this Living in Flow 2016 live event. Thank you so much for taking time out of your life, out of your evening, and making the effort to be here. We really deeply appreciate it. Woody Allen, who is that crazy director, that crazy actor, has a wonderful quote that we absolutely love. And he says that 85% of success is simply showing up. And just by being here this evening, you are showing up not only to this webinar, but also to your life, to your growth, to your expansion. So thank you very much. Lovely to have you here. So how have ever done a webinar before? How many of you have been on webinars with us before? I know that there are a number of you that have done some of our courses and some of our work before. We'd love to hear from you. Some of you, it might be the first time you've ever done a webinar, or you may have done many. Please type in the type box in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We'd love to know whether you've done one before. For those of you who haven't, here are some quick technology basics. What you will notice is that there is a video feature that we've had on and we've now turned off, because in a number of countries the bandwidth is not particularly good. You might be sitting on some really slow bandwidth, and you'll find when we do have the video on, it really slows things down. So there will be times when we turn it on, there will be times when we turn it off. There may be some slight delays based on your bandwidth. We are on a super uber type. Where we are, and we make sure that we are, so that we can handle all of the people on the webinar. But there may be some slight delays. If there is a delay, a big delay, or there's some issue with sound, you can't hear us anymore, please let us know by typing in the type box. And if it gets really bad, what you can do is just log out, log back in again, and that should help you out. And then, of course, please add your comments, thoughts, questions in the chat box in the bottom right-hand corner, just like you're doing right now. And I see that there are a whole lot of you that are first-timers. Like Erica has said that this is her first webinar. Rosemary says this is her second one. Mohammed says first time. Anne has done our Money Magic course, so she's done many webinars with us. Tanya's done the Money Magic. Judy's never been here with us before. Mark's done a few before. Welcome everyone. So lovely to have you here. So we want to find out a little bit more about you, and we are delighted that we have had over 400 people register for this live event, and so we assume that people will be logging on consistently over the next hour and a half, and we'd love to get a bit of a taste of who you are and who's in the room. So please can you type in the type box in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen which city you are in. So please type in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen which city you're in, so that we know where you are. So that we've got Nicole in Dubai, Frederica's in Johannesburg, Nikki in Ammanis, Rosemary's in Britain. Wow, it's all flying through. Mark is in Joburg, Lisa's in Somerset West, Durban. There's a lot of South Africans. We've got from Dubai, we've got from Nelspruit, Safelberg, wow, from all over. Windhoek, we've got someone out of Namibia, we've got London, excellent. We've got someone in Lancashire, awesome. So we've got people from around the world, around South Africa, really fabulous to have you here this evening. And what we find is that we have all different types of people who kind of come to these free webinars to find out about flow. And you're really in the right place tonight if you're wanting to shift out of stress and struggle and move into ease. If you want to be successful and abundant in the areas of your life that give you the most joy and satisfaction and fulfillment, if you're on the path of personal development, and I know many of you who have done our previous programs are on that path of personal development or you're on some kind of spiritual journey, and you're wanting to open up your awareness and expand into your fullest potential, then you are absolutely in the right place this evening. Often, when people hear the word flow, they think it means being lazy or giving up or being some kind of dope-smoking surfer dude, but that's really not what tonight is about. Tonight, we are going to be sharing with you some teachings, but most importantly, we are going to be doing a number of practical exercises with you so that you can use these in your life immediately. And after this live event, we'll also be sharing with you how you can tap into our guidance, our support within a community of other like-minded individuals who want to go deeper into this magic of living in flow. And we'll share more about that later on this live event. So we find that there are 3 types of people who start our flow experience and are in this community with us. And we're wondering which of these types you are. So there are those people, and some of you will relate to this, who have already have some big dreams and goals, and you're working on them and you're in the process, but your dreams and goals are creating a sense of tension or some kind of struggle within you. So some of you are in that space, right? You're clear on your dreams and goals, but you've got stress. And if you're in that space, say, yes, clear on dreams, but got stress. That's what we want to hear. Type in the type box. So there are a number of you that are in that space. So you are very similar to Marie, who's one of our flow experiencers. She's been on our flow experience for over 2 years. And when she joined us, she was really focused businesswoman, focused on her business goals, and she wanted to build her business into a 10 million rand company. But she found that she was often tired. She found it hard to make time for her kids, for her family, and even harder to make time for herself. Now, since applying flow and flow principles into her life, she works only 4 days a week. She takes 1 day a week off for herself completely. And because she's using these tools, her business is doing way better than it's ever done before. She's got more clients, more work, more money. In fact, her self-confidence has doubled in the last year. And she has way surpassed her target of 10 million. This year, her business is due to do 25 or 30 million rand worth of turnover. And she says she can't believe that she's getting this level of success with way less stress. But it's because she's applying the tools. And what she's been able to do is really let go of the stress and the struggle. So you may be one of those people. Or you may be here tonight, and some of you have already said this, like Tanya, unclear, absolutely no idea, Tanya said. She's got no idea what her dreams and goals are. Okay, great. No idea what your dreams and goals are? Tanya, you are so lucky. We have many people that have no idea what their dreams and goals are, and that's okay. And some of you that don't have any idea what your dreams and goals are, you might feel a little bit like you're stuck in a rut or without clarity. And one of our other flow experiences, Joanne, was a teacher when she first heard about flow and had been for about 25 years and had that kind of feeling like, is this it? Is this what it's really all about? And through practicing flow, she's not only got clear on her passion about horses, she's now following a career in that industry and absolutely loving it. So flow is not just about, loo-doo-doo, I'm not doing anything. It's absolutely about having a vision, but having a vision without the stress. Or you might be the last type of person. You might have a different idea every week, right? How many of you are in this kind of category? Different idea every week. This week it's that, next week it's another thing. You're not sure whether they'll work. And sometimes your passion shifts and your desire shifts or you move into fear, and this is all normal. And so whichever group you fit into and find yourself in today, this webinar is really, really going to help you because we're going to define what flow really is, how it works with your dreams and goals, and how to shift into more clarity around your dreams and goals and to more ease in actually achieving them. So I've given you a bit of an intro in the first 10 minutes of this webinar. We've got 54 people with us, which is awesome. Thank you for being here. So Gail says that sounds like him, floating around new ideas every day, right?
I was going to say, I know quite a lot of people who jump from idea to idea to idea. I think there's a lot of people who can resonate with that.
Yeah. So you may be wondering who we are. And considering we're going to be spending the next 90 minutes with you, we'd love to spend a few minutes introducing ourselves. So let me start. I've been doing the talking, and then I'm going to hand over to Timmy. So my name is Donna McCallum, and I am also known as the Fairy Godmother. And I'll put myself onto video for those of you that have come on a little bit late. It's kind of zooted out of the video screen. Quickly, slunk away. So hi, I'm Donna. I'm also known as the fairy godmother. And over the past 10 years, I've been running workshops around South Africa and courses around in the UK and the US as well. And I've helped thousands of people get clear on their dreams and goals. And many of you on this live event this evening have been to some of my workshops. You've done other courses with me. You've done other programs with me. And it's always great to reconnect with people who've done programs with me before. So if you've done programs with me before, please say, yes, I've done a program with you before. I'd love to just see those familiar faces. I've seen already a few of you pop up this evening, which is great. And over the past 3 years, I have been living in flow. And great, lovely to see lots of yeses popping up. And it's definitely, living in flow has definitely been the most transformational and liberating experience of my life. But it wasn't always this way. And I want to kind of take you back 3 years ago, to 3.5 years ago, to January 2013. Timea and I had just become business partners. I was excited about a big goal of tripling our business in the first 3 months of 2013 because I was so excited about writing my second book. I thought, right, I need to make as much money as possible so that I can take 3 months or 4 months off to write my next book. But I was pushing, I was forcing, I was stressing, I was busy, I was racing around the country. I was really almost at a state of burnout, trying to reach this dream and goal that I had, but not really succeeding. How many of you can relate to that? How many of you can relate to this kind of pushing, forcing, struggling, but not really getting the kind of results that you want? Yeah, a number of you. And I guess that's why you're on this webinar this evening. So Timea and I were bickering. We were business partners. We weren't enjoying working together. And there was a moment when I looked at our business turnover figures to see how close we were to this goal of mine of tripling our business. And despite all of the efforts and pushing and struggling, we had only made 10 Rand more. And for those of you that are overseas, we'd literally basically made $1 more than the year before. So for all of that additional effort, and I cried my eyes out. I was tired. I felt like I'd been trying so hard. And Timmy walked into my office and she looked at me and she said, "What's wrong?" And I told her, and she said, I think it's time we try another way. And through my tears, and I was crying my eyes out, I said, "Well, what is this other way?" And she said, "I don't know, but it'll come to us." And the next morning, I walked into the office and she said, "I've had an idea." And I said, "What's the idea?" And she said, "I think we should try a flow experiment." And I said, "What's a flow experiment?" And she said, "Donna, there is a world that we believe is possible, a world of magic and abundance and life supporting us, and us being able to do what we love and in our fullest creative expression of who we are. But it feels to me, Donna, like we've got one foot in this new world of magic and flow and another foot in the old world where we've been really conditioned and deeply conditioned and taught that we need to struggle and push and force to succeed." And she said, "I really think it's time that we jump with both feet into the world that we believe is possible. So let's try a little experiment." And Timmy is very, very clever. She knows how to sell things to me. So she said, "Let's do it as an experiment just for a week. What's the worst thing that can happen?" And so our experiment in flow started. And from 1 week, it became 2 weeks. It then became a month. And after 18 months of living in flow, going through amazing shifts in our own lives and developing incredible tools to keep ourselves in flow, we then launched what we called the flow experiment to students that have done my other courses. And we had a community of 105 people join us. And they then started to experience the transformation of flow and experimenting with flow in a community of people that were also doing it with them. And the shifts for us and others have been absolutely immense. We're really present in our lives. Like, there are books about it. You know, Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now, but we've really developed an ability to be in the now, be here, be present. We work on average 4 or 5 hours a day. We have more freedom. Despite working fewer hours, our business turnover has consistently increased. Last year it increased by 22%. This year we're on about a 30% increase. We are more relaxed. And in the past 2 years, Timmy and I have traveled between us to over 10 countries. We have deeper, more meaningful relationships with each other, with friends, with family, and people keep telling us we're looking younger. And we absolutely know that that's because of flow. And it's because we're really living our joy in real time. And so I'm really grateful to Timea that she suggested 3.5 years ago that we embark on this flow experiment, which is now no longer an experiment, it's really an experience of life. And Timea's been an incredible teacher. She's been an ongoing guide for me. And really, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be living a life of such immense ease and freedom and creativity. And it's been so amazing to have someone else. And then subsequently, over the last 2 years, a whole community of people to help support each other in staying in flow. So that's my little sense of why I'm here this evening and why I'm doing this webinar with you. I'll let Timea introduce herself. I'm going to put her onto video very briefly so that for those of you who have just arrived, you can see.
I am really not one for cameras, as most of you know who've heard me before. I'm not one for the limelight. I take the back seat generally, but yeah, here I am. Hello. And yeah, I was sitting listening to Donna's intro, and I'm like, how do you top an intro like that? I'm like, that's quite an intro. How do you come after that? I haven't been a fairy godmother for 10 years, But as Donna shared, she shared the beginning of the story. The flow experience, the work that we're sharing with you, was an inspired thought that came to me in the middle of the night the one night, while I was washing dishes, or while I was in the shower. I actually can't quite remember. But yeah, the original idea came bubbling up through me, because we were looking for a different way to be in the world, and a different way to live, and a different way to create. And it was an amalgamation of lots of different inspiration that I've been seeing prior to that, and we had actually shared that Donna had shared those kind of teachings before, that made me go, actually, this is the answer. Although at the time I had no idea how big an answer it was going to be, because I obviously suggested an experiment, and while I had a feeling it had some real depth to it, I had no idea it was going to become a way of life. But it was, let's try it for a week and see what happens, like Donna said. Yeah, my background is in marketing, and I come from having done years of marketing and environmental work. So I've come out of also that struggle space. I've been working in the corporate space that I really didn't necessarily enjoy, and I was looking for more fulfillment in my life. I'm going, okay, how do I do work that really fulfills me? How do I do work that makes a difference in the world? How do I really honor where I'm at moment to moment? And that's exactly what we've managed to create with this flow experience, is we do honor where we're at moment to moment. And actually, as Donna was sharing some stuff, sharing the kind of bliss that we experienced, I had this clear memory of a guy called Patrick on our last webinar who said, okay, can you stop talking about your amazing lives now? And that's thing for me, because I just wanted to share that the tools that we've learned through this year of flow to get us through the really, really difficult times as well. So Donna mentioned all the good stuff, there's lots of good stuff. But when the bad stuff happens, we can...
Because it does still happen.
It absolutely happens. I often say my life is a roller coaster. The ups and downs come in almost equal measure, and both of them have me screaming at the top of my lungs. But the tools that we've developed, some of which we'll share with you, have allowed us to handle those moments with grace, and have allowed us to really ride the wave that is life, and to sail through it without having it rock our core, basically. So there are still, because Patrick's voice kept going on in my head, there are still those moments, and I know you guys are thinking, it can't just be bliss all the time. It isn't. But the flow tools we're going to be sharing with you allow you to process those experiences in a much more graceful way. So yeah, that's why I'm here, because we wanted to share this with the world. It's such an amazing experience to live this way, and we want everyone to live this way. That's my vision anyway for the world, is to have everyone living in flow and honoring themselves and doing what they love.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Timea, for sharing with us why you're here. So let's give you a little roadmap of what we're going to be exploring and experiencing tonight. Just so that you know where we're at. We're going to be looking at the struggle paradigm. We're going to be looking at the stress and strain that happens in most people's lives, and we will begin We're going to share some practical tools with you that will begin to shift you into allowing life to work through you rather than being in the struggly space. We are also going to look at the paradox of dreams and goals. Why do so many dreams and goals cause us struggle, tension, and how do you move into a life of flow and ease? We are then going to be giving you 3 simple steps of how to move into ease when you're in the stress moments, because as Tony says, those stress moments do happen. The downs of the roller coaster do happen, and when you're in that moment, how do you move into ease, and how does that create more connection to flow? And we're going to be doing lots of exercises along the way. So please make sure that you either have your workbook, and if you don't have your workbook, if you haven't downloaded it, don't worry about it. Just get out a pen and paper, because we are going to be doing exercises along the way. And we'll be doing a Q&A session at the end of this live event after the 90 minutes is up. So please feel free to type comments, questions, all of that in the type box as we go along. If we can get them while we're kind of in the flow of the webinar, we will. But if we can't get them all, then we will stay on after the webinar and address any questions. We're happy to stay here until the last question is done. Okay. So before we get into the content, just to let you know, we have a special gift. In fact, we've got 2. Tina convinced me this afternoon. She's like, no, we're going to get 2 special gifts for you. For those that are here at the end of the live event, we'll be giving you the download links for those special gifts. And we're going to be doing a simple but really powerful closed eye exercise at the end of this webinar, which if you do daily, will really connect you to this essence of flow. So enough of all the intros, let's really dive straight in, and let's start talking about the struggle paradigm. So most of us were taught by our parents that if you want to be successful, you have to work really, really hard. How many of you have been taught that? How many of you remember your parents saying that if you want to be successful, you have to work really, really hard? How many of you have grown up with that kind of conditioning? Yeah, Tanya? Okay, it's going bananas. People are saying, yep, they remember that. Okay, Erica, Amanda, Nicole, Gretel, Judy, Jeffrey saying, yep, absolutely. This is what we call the struggle paradigm. We've also been taught that our time equals money. You've got to work hard, you've got to put in more hours to be successful. How many of you found that even though you're working harder, you're working longer hours, you're not necessarily making more money, and you're not necessarily more successful? In fact, what you're probably getting more of is you're probably getting more tired, more stressed, more exhausted, and feeling like there's actually got to be a better way.
Just like we were before we started the flow experiment. Exactly where we were. Working harder, longer hours, not making more money.
Yeah, making $1 more.
$1 more.
For triple the work. Yeah, so Tanya says, yeah, just getting more frustrated. And Gretel says, yeah, and I work for my parents. So Gretel's got the conditioning and she's working for her parents. So that's one of the key things that happens in the struggle paradigm, that we believe that to be successful, we've got to really work hard. What also happens as part of the struggle paradigm is that we start basing our happiness and our success on external factors. So what we start doing is saying, when I have this, then I'll be happy. And this is a very Western kind of thing to do. When I have that beautiful house that I want, then I'll be happy. When I have those gorgeous shoes, those Jimmy shoes, then I'll be happy. When I get that promotion at work, then I'll be happy. When I go on a wonderful holiday, then I'll be happy. When I meet my soulmate, then I'll be happy. And what we're doing is we're constantly postponing our joy, our happiness, our bliss for a moment in the future when we get something external. And when we do get that external thing, whatever the dream or goal is, that ecstasy, elation, joy is fleeting and it disappears very, very quickly. And so from a psychology perspective, there are 3 woundings that actually happen to us that take us into the struggle paradigm and make us look for external stuff to kind of complete us, to kind of make us feel better about our lives, about ourselves, about who we are. And these primal woundings are the following. The first one is, I'm not okay, or it's not okay. So I'm just giving this to you as an overview perspective so you kind of get it. And we go into more detail on this in the flow experience. But so when you're not okay, you feel that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not beautiful enough, you're not lovable enough. And so what you begin to do is you begin to try and push and force to be okay and good enough.
The words "I'm not worthy" is a big one, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. And so I've got to push and force and struggle to show that I'm okay in the world. Some of you might relate to that one, right? So take a look at all three of these. The next one, a primary wounding. And these primary woundings happen for us psychologically during our childhood. And for some of you, it might be all of them. So the next one is feeling rejected or abandoned. And here it's the I'm not worthy. It's and so I compensate by trying to be more, trying to do more. There's more struggle. There's more effort because I'm really trying to compensate. I'm really trying because if I'm worthy, I want to be worthy. I want people to not reject me or abandon me. And then the last one, the last primary wounding from a psychological perspective is something happens, and this normally happens towards our late teens, early 20s, when you feel like you're alone. You feel like for the first time you're really truly alone and you don't trust life. And this has been one of my biggest woundings, like not trusting life to support me. And so you feel like you've got to do it on your own. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? You become a fierce warrior. I know we've got many women on this webinar this evening. We've got some men on this webinar this evening. But, you know, many of you women become fierce warrior women, like, whoa, I've got to get, you know, I've got to do it. I'm going to fight my way through life. And really the feeling around here is I'm alone and unsupported. And so I would love to hear from you, you know, which ones do you most relate to? Or is it all of the above? Are there any of those going on for you? Which area? And then also, okay, so Lesego says all of them. She's feeling this is not okay, feeling a little bit rejected and abandoned, feeling like not trusting life. Okay.
Mine is definitely the feeling rejected one.
Yeah, and so for me, it's not trusting life was certainly and what
flow, not trusting.
Yeah, and what's happened is flow has so brought in that element of learning to trust and trust and trust and trust, and faith is like a muscle. And it's something that you've got to exercise. Like you've got to go to gym and exercise it, and that's part of what living in flow creates. This real moving through into I am actually okay. Moving through into actually don't take it personally. Timmy and I had something recently that happened between the two of us, and Timmy went into feeling rejected and abandoned because that's where we go, right? We go back into our inner child feeling rejected and abandoned, and she said it took her 2 hours. Within 2 hours, she popped out of it and said, oh my goodness, this is not personal. Whereas 3 years ago, it would have taken you weeks.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of time. Yeah, actually, the not trusting life stuff, what's interesting in Donna and my partnership is I have and always have had, and I don't know where it comes from, a deep trust in life that I will always be taken care of. So that was, you know, that's when Donna grapples with some of that stuff, then I can hold and support her. She doesn't necessarily have the rejected stuff, so she can hold and support me in that stuff. So yeah, it's been amazing to do it together because we balance each other. Our woundings are different. So we can hold each other in our woundings.
And this is the beautiful thing that we find about our flow experience in general, doing this in a community of over 100 people, that in the community you're holding each other's stuff for each other while you're going through it. So I'd like you to consider where you are in the struggle paradigm, because there are some areas of your life that you're already in flow in. For sure, that there's already a feeling of things working, that there's a lot of ease, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of presence, but there are other areas in your life where you are absolutely in the struggle paradigm. So I'd love you to write down on your piece of paper, and if you'd like to share with us, please type in, absolutely type in the type box, in which area of your life are you hooked into the struggle paradigm? For me, it is absolutely in the work area of life. I was hooked into the struggle paradigm. What area of life was it for you, Timmy?
I think for me, it's in the area of romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So for you, it might be in the area of money or relationships or family or work, or it might be all of them. Right? But really interesting to see where you're in the struggle and where you are in some flow. So let's read what some of the people said. Mark Berger says finishing all his work tasks. That's where he's in the kind of struggle. Naseko says money, kids, family business, says Mohammed, work. Okay. There's a lot of work struggle. Judy also work. Easily getting hooked into old life pattern triggers, says Nicole. Okay. Debbie Hunt says marriage and kids and getting back into career after being home with the kids, so that's kind of struggling. Money to some people. Okay. Business and husband relationship, says Nobasutu. Work, money, romantic relationships, friends, family, tiny bit of money. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for being so honest about where the struggle is. And we are going to be giving you 5 big flow tools tonight to really start moving you and shifting you out of the struggliness. So wherever that area is that you're wanting to apply it to. And what happens is when you're in the struggle paradigm, what you're doing is you're creating resistance to life. Huge amounts of life force are wanting to flow through you and express itself through you. But when you're in struggle, when you're in resistance, it's like you're trying to squeeze a pipe so life can't flow through you, and it creates a lot of pressure. And that's what you're feeling. You're feeling this pressure. And so the opposite of resistance, the opposite of this struggle, and this is the man, you can see him on the PowerPoint presentation, here he's in the struggle. The opposite of that is ease. And here's our first tool we want to give you. And it's a tool we use all the time on the flow experience. And it's really simple, and it might sound very trite and very superficial. And it's one of the tools that Timea and I most use. And we find that the simple ones are often the easiest to implement, and they're the ones that really work. And this tool is a little mantra. And the mantra is called, let it be easy. Let it be easy.
We have to all do it together.
Okay.
We have to all, when we say it, we have to say it all together, say it out loud wherever you are, and put your hands in the air. Go, let it be easy.
Let it be easy. And as we say that, our flow poster behind us
came
fell down, came falling off the wall.
It got so excited to be with us.
So let it be easy. So what we do is every morning, this is a mantra that we recommend, that the first thing that you do when you wake up, the first thing when you normally wake up, your mind wakes up, and as soon as it wakes up, all this chatter starts to happen.
Yeah.
Chatter, and the thing that comes up first is the problem. And I'd like you to notice that tomorrow morning, the ego, as soon as the ego wakes up, which is when the mind wakes up, it goes, what's the problem? And then it starts gnawing on whatever the problem was that you went to sleep with last night, or even some new problem that's thought about. It'll be a problem in relationship, or a problem in work, or a problem in money, or some kind of problem. And it starts to chatter. And instead of letting it chatter, what you do is you wake up, you have a big stretch, and you stretch up your arms and you say, let it be easy. And you might want to say that 2 or 3 times, let it be easy.
Nobasutu said that it's on my vision board. That is that synchronicity, Nobasutu.
How awesome. Or you can absolutely do it when you are in a struggle moment. So I know a number of flowers use it when they are, and we call people that are on the flow experience flowers, when they are in the struggle moment. So in the moment where there is pressure, in the moment when they're in the bank queue and the bank manager is not kind of helping them, or you can say quietly to yourself, just, let it be easy.
I used it today. So today you would have seen, you got a few emails from us because we were having technical issues. We were supposed to be using another platform for this live event, and our other platform all of a sudden had all sorts of technical issues. And I was in the middle of this going, wow, okay, and I actually sent Donna a message saying, I think the problem that I'm experiencing is bigger than I thought. And then I said, let it be easy. And then we tried to fix it. we gave it a couple of shots, and I was like, okay, it's not going to work. Okay, backup plan. And that's why we're using this with IQ, which is why you had to get a new link, because the original platform was another platform. But when I said let it be easy, then we were like, okay, we've got another platform. We'll just pop them an email. It'll be all perfect. And it was easy.
Yeah, and so Mani Pani is on this webinar with us today. She is one of our flow experiences, and she has said, let it be easy has helped me through many a difficult day. And yeah, Mani, you're not alone. I know you know a number of other flowers, and Tracy Lee is one of our flowers, and she was really committed to the stress and the struggle when she started with us. And in this past December, she was in her absolute busiest period of work. She was about to go on Christmas holiday, and her geyser burst in her flat, flooded her place. They had to move out. And she wrote on our Flow Facebook group that she simply kept saying to herself throughout the whole week of madness, let it be easy, let it be easy, let it be easy, like a mantra. And she couldn't believe the magic that happened, the solutions that appeared out of the blue, the people who stepped in to help, and how it just got solved so easily. And so you've got to understand, and after you've done this webinar and this live event with us, you'll see it. As a society, we are so bought into the struggle paradigm that everyone always talks about their problems and their struggles, and no one is committed to ease. And just that one perspective shift to ease and letting it be easy, I promise you will have monumental impact in your life.
Somebody earlier on mentioned the conditioning. And what Let It Be Easy does is it starts repatterning, or it starts unconditioning that struggle conditioning. So you start you start conditioning yourself into ease.
Yeah, and we are the only animals in nature who struggle. All other animals only experience stress when their survival is in stress. So if an impala is about to be eaten by a lion, then it experiences stress. A flower doesn't struggle to grow, it simply grows. And our society is so not focused on the ease, it is focused on the dis-ease. And so even listening to this, you might find your little inner voice saying, what? It can't be that easy. All I have to do is say, let it be easy. And we're here to tell you that yes, it can be that easy.
And we've had a few other flowers say the same thing. Back us up. You can believe all of us.
And you have to drop the conditioning that things need to be hard. That's one of the big ways of getting out of the struggle paradigm, is drop that conditioning. And so let it be easy. And we love to throw our hands up in the air, as Cindy said, and do it. And so we are going to ask you to do it all again. You're probably sitting in your kitchen or your dining room or your lounge with your family around you. We don't care. Be silly, be stupid, and throw your arms up and go, let it be easy. In fact, let's put ourselves on video. Yeah, absolutely. People need to see it. It takes a few seconds for the video to come on. All right, and let it be easy.
You didn't synchronize that. That
No,
was terrible.
Synchronized.
We didn't synchronize not on video. We didn't synchronize on video.
So, ease is absolutely one of the foundations of flow that we teach. And it's one of the 5 foundations that we teach in the flow experience. And it's the key to creating what you want in a way that's joyous and delightful. And so how many of you that are on this live event with us tonight have experienced that you have dreams and goals that they create stress and tension? So Lesego says yes, for the Sutu, Nicole. And how many of you have given up on the goal setting because it's created stress or tension? Or you felt like a failure because you haven't reached those goals? Yeah, lots of you. So I would love you to take out your workbook, if you download the workbook, or with your pen and paper, and write down which goals have caused you the most stress in your life. And which have you given up on because of feelings of tension or failure? So sit down and just have a little feel into them. So Gail says not given up, but difficult to keep focused because he's getting frustrated and tense and stressed, and so it's difficult to get focused. He hasn't given up, but yeah, and then there's some that just don't happen, don't seem to happen. And we live in a society that tells us that having dreams and goals is the way to be successful. So if that's the way to be successful, then why do they create so much stress? And this is something as a fairy godmother that I've pondered on, because I've been doing workshops with people around the world for years, getting them clear on their dreams, their goals, their vision for their lives, and people leave the workshop. Some people leave the workshop, and within a few years, or in a few months even, they've easily manifested the things that they want, and it looks so easy. And for others, their dreams and goals cause them huge stress. And so I've seen this in my own life. There are things that I can manifest super easily. I can create super easily. Ask me to manifest travel, no problem. You know, in 2008, I wrote down a goal. I'll travel to 7 countries this year and be paid to travel. And I traveled to 7 countries that year and did workshops in all those countries, so I got paid to travel. Easy. But there are other areas of my life. Like for many years, my soulmate relationship area of my life was really, really hard for me. And I did all of these manifesting tools, all of my own tools that I teach. I made vision boards, and I wrote down what I wanted, and I did ceremonies, and I set intentions, and I took actions, and I signed up for internet dating, and I kissed lots of frogs, and none of them turned into princes that I was manifesting. And it was only after Timea and I had been flow experimenting for a year that I found flow in that area of my life. And 6 weeks later, a relationship that was even better than the one that I'd been dreaming of arrived in a way that was completely unexpected. And it's been an amazing, loving, and fulfilling relationship for the last 2.5 years. And later, I'm going to be giving you the golden nugget that was absolutely the game changer for me in manifesting this relationship. And but here's the core of why I'm introducing this in this way. Why are some things easier to have happen in your life than other things? And that is because there is a balancing act. And the balancing act is between your vision for the future, and which is your dreams and goals, and being at ease in the now. So there's this balancing act. And what this does is it creates 4 states of mind. So here's a little table that will explain to you what those 4 states of mind are. And the first state of mind is where you don't have a dream and goal and vision for your life, and you're not at ease in the now. This state of mind is called the spiral, and it fits into that little block. So this is a place where you are feeling down. You don't know what you like. You're feeling not happy with where you are. This is a place that ultimately leads to depression. This is also a place where, and you have people like this, where you spend time with them and you feel like your energy has been completely drained and sucked because nothing good, they're blaming everything, they're in a lot of victim mentality here. This is the space of the negative spiral. And some of you see that for your own life. Okay, I don't have dreams and goals. I'm not happy where I am now. I'm not at ease where I am now. I'm in a negative spiral. The next state of mind is where you don't have dreams and goals, but you are in the now. So you'll see, and it says, yes, I am at ease in the now. Okay, so Erica says, she's in the negative spiral right now. Great. Thank you so much, Erica, for being so honest and so vulnerable and sharing that with us. Okay? So, and thank you so much for taking action to be on this webinar this evening, because when you're in the negative spiral, everything feels a little bit fruitless, and everything feels a little bit like, pointless and meaningless. So we're really, really excited that you're here this evening. So, at ease in the now, you're feeling at ease in the now, but you don't have dreams and goals. This is quite a pleasant place to be. It's like, no idea where I'm going, but I'm pretty cool, and I'm happy, and it's all good. Yeah, I'm at ease in the now. And the problem with this place is that as human beings, our evolution is dependent on us expanding and having an expanded vision for the next part of our lives. And that's how we grow as human beings and evolve, and how our consciousness evolves, in having the next imagination or the next idea or the next human goal that pulls us forward. And what happens when you get into the comfort zone is that you very easily slip into the negative spiral. Then there is the third, so that's the comfort zone. Then there is the third state of mind. And that is where you do have dreams and goals and vision for your life, but you are not at ease in the now. And this is where I have spent a lot of my life. And we call this the stressed visionary, right? So you have got these dreams and goals and visions, you've got these things that you want to do, but there is no ease in the now. How many of you can relate to this one? Ah, that's me, says Nicole. All right. Melissa says, I'm a stressed visionary. Exactly.
There are lots of stressed visionaries in the world, actually, if you look at the level of stress and levels of activity and busyness that there are in the world.
Yeah. And in fact, a lot of people that flow appeals to are the stressed visionaries, because you're like, but I've got my vision and I'm so clear, and there's got to be a better way because the stress is killing me and I'm hating it. And so the final space is where you do have the dream and goal and vision, and you are at ease in the now, and this is the flow state. And I specifically chose this photo to really...
My boyfriend.
Yeah.
My vision.
Your vision, yeah. This is absolutely that feeling of flow, and we knew that we'd probably have more women on the webinar tonight than men. So sorry, men.
See, Rosemary's already in.
Yeah, Rosemary is up for flow. So this is when you are at ease in the now, and you also are very clear on your vision. So that's the flow state. So if it's not just about dreams and goals, and we're not going to talk a huge amount about dreams and goals in this webinar this evening, because with dreams and goals, there are so many courses that teach it. You can do other courses with me that teach it. You can do other courses with other people. You can read books about it. Go into any bookshop. There will be at least 10 books that you can read about dreams and goals, if not 100. However, if you go into a bookshop and look on a bookshelf, I challenge any of you to find a book that speaks of ease, or that is even titled anything to do with ease. We are not taught it. And so we're going to be sharing with you more about ease tonight in dreams and goals. And there are two key things that create ease in the now. And we'd like you to guess, right? There are a number of factors, in fact, that create ease in the now. And we share these all on our flow experience, but there are two key ones that are really, really key for us. And we'd love you to guess, what do you think are some of the key things that create ease in the now, feeling at ease right now? And just type in the type box. There's no such thing as a wrong answer. This is just guessing. This is just crazy, wild guessing. So chilling out says number 2. Great guess, number 2. Awesome. Acceptance, says Nicole. Letting it go, says Isa. Spirituality, says Rebecca. Acceptance, listening to intuition, mindset, having fun, acceptance, loving all these answers. Any more guesses? Being spontaneous, says Mohammed. Awesome. Forgiveness and acceptance. Yeah? Not worrying, says Gabby. Loving yourself. All the bills being paid, and pizza, says Kim Stewart. We love that, Kim Stewart. We love it, you know. Yep, pizza. Absolutely one of the two key things.
It works for me on Monday night.
Okay, so here are the two key things that create ease in the now. The first one is being in the now. You can't be at ease in the now if you are not in the now. And 99% of our lives, we are not in the now at all. So as this little picture on the PowerPoint slide shows, we're either too much in the past, and we're thinking about the past, and when we think about the past, there's either feelings of guilt or regret or resentment or grievances or sadness or bitterness that come up, and that's when we're thinking about the past negatively. But if we think about the past positively, then we've got a feeling of nostalgia and like comfort, and that's how we feel about the past. And that's the feeling, the emotion that comes up. When we're thinking too much about the future, or we're actually in our minds just in the future, and we're thinking negatively about that, There can be unease, anxiety, tension, stress, worry, fear. If we're thinking positively about the future, if our perception of the future is it's all going well, then we feel excitement. Then we feel this like bubble of like, woohoo, life is great. Which is why every Friday people go bananas. Why? Because they're not being present. All they're doing is projecting into the future, and what they're projecting into the future is we have 2 days of weekend, woohoo! And they feel excited, and their energy rises. And on Sunday evening, when you hear that carte blanche music playing, what happens for most people? They go into the projection of the future not being great, and they feel that unease, that anxiety, the stress, the tension of the week ahead. And what you'll find is that lightness, joy, freedom only actually resides in the now. So we're going to go into our first really, really practical exercise. We've done our Let It Be Easy, but now this is a closed eye exercise to teach you how to get present. And those of you that have been on our flow retreats before, or your flowers, you'll all handle this, but uncross your arms, uncross your legs. This is a closed eye exercise. And take a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in and out. And gently close your eyes. Allow your top eyelids to gently close onto your bottom eyelids. And now become aware of your body on the chair or on the bed, wherever you are. And become aware of your breathing as you breathe deeply in and out. And as you breathe deeply, just notice that there may be some thoughts that come floating through your mind. And that's okay, that's normal, that's exactly what thoughts do. But notice that if you get attached to any of those thoughts, allow yourself to simply unattach and detach and allow them to float like clouds across your mind, across the screen of your mind. And now bring your awareness into your hands, almost like you're feeling your hands from the inside out. And notice if there's any change in temperature, or you can feel some kind of sensation, or you might even experience some visual color while you feel your hands from the inside out. And now bring your awareness to your feet. And feel your feet like you're feeling them from the inside out. And again, notice any sensations, warmth or cold, any colors. And now I invite you to bring your awareness into your whole body, like you're feeling your whole body from the inside out. And now I'm going to count slowly back from 5 to 1. And as I get to the number 1, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes and then cycle through your senses. And what I mean by that is that you are going to notice, sense by sense, you're going to go through each sense and notice, what am I seeing, what am I hearing, what am I smelling, what am I tasting, and what am I feeling. And you're going to do that a few times. Just each sense by each sense. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I feeling when I get to the number 1? 5, 4, 3, being really aware of your body on the chair. 2, and 1. Blink your eyes together and open them. And now notice, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? And what are you feeling? And now cycle through your senses a few more times in the next little bit of silence. Okay, great. Thank you. So we'd love to check in with you now and find out how are you feeling right now after doing that exercise. How are you feeling right now after doing that exercise? Please type in the type box. Let us know how are you feeling.
Rishmi and Erica both say relaxed. Rhino feels fluffy.
Yeah, rested, says the letter.
Great, at peace, calm.
Yeah.
Calm. Oh, Debbie feels anxious. Interesting one.
So Debbie, the anxiety is often like a surface anxiety will come up, and it's probably because you'll find that there was some attachment to thoughts about stuff that is still going on in the future. There's possible stuff that's still coming up.
Or maybe it's because being present is such an unknown sense for your body that it doesn't really, like it feels a bit strange to have that level of attention. So it starts going,
yeah. Yeah, what is this going to create? What is this going to cause? Okay, great. So she says yes. Makes sense. Yes, sleepy, calm, relaxed. So this is an exercise. It took us 3 or 4 minutes to talk you through it, but this is an exercise that you can do in 20, 30 seconds. Whenever you are finding yourself in a struggle moment, whenever you're finding yourself not present, and you will know that you are not present because you are feeling either anxious, stressed, tense, or you're feeling guilty, resentment, something like that. And all you need to do is just take a deep breath in and out, close your eyes, get really present in your body, feel your body from the inside out, and then open your eyes again and cycle through your senses. What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I feeling? And you can do it really, really, really quickly. And if you're in the car and you're in a stressed out moment, then it's probably not a good idea to close your eyes, but you can just start cycling through the senses. And this is one of the tools we use in our own lives. And being present is like a muscle. It's not something that you're going to get and someone's going to wave their wand and go ding, and now you're going to be present from now on, right? Being present is really a muscle, and this is the exercise that we use to keep reminding and keep building this muscle. And Timea and I, when we first started doing this exercise, we would do it a few hundred times a day. Now we don't need to do it as much as that, but we notice when we are in the stress moment, when we're in the tension, when we're in the thing, we take a few seconds, look up, okay, what am I seeing, what am I hearing, what am I smelling, what am I tasting, what am I feeling? Oh, I'm back. I'm here in this moment.
One of my keys for working out when I'm not present, in fact, like one of my alarm bells, I call them, is when I'm having imaginary conversations with other people in my head. And then I'm like, oh! And it takes a while. Like sometimes I'll have like a, 3-5 minute conversation, and then I'll be like, oh, you're having a conversation with somebody that's not actually here in front of you, so you are not present. And then I use this exercise and I get present.
Yeah.
Norman says he has those too. I think lots of people have imaginary conversations in their heads.
Yeah, I think we all do. And that's the clear sign that you're not present. You're not the only one who knows. Okay, so that is one of the key components of being at ease in the now, just being in the now. Second key component, so we've done the closed eye exercise and we've connected you to the now, and this is the only moment that there is to experience the joy, the lightness, the freedom. So you need to be in the moment to experience that. So okayness is the second thing. Some of you mentioned acceptance. Some of you mentioned forgiveness. These all form into the realm of okayness. Some people call it surrender. We just use the word okayness because it's quite neutral. So for some people, they don't like the word surrender, or they don't like the word acceptance. It kind of puts a positive connotation onto things. So we just use the word okayness. But you can be in ease and create what you want. That way you live in a flowing state of peace. And that's really what flow and the flow experience is all about. And so it all sounds lovely. Okay, we're surrendered, we're acceptance, we're okay, until you're not okay. And what happens when you're not okay?
You look like this little girl.
Yeah, and you're feeling fed up, and you're pissed off, and you're stressed out. And what if you're not okay with what is? Because being okay and okayness is just being okay with what is. And so if you're not okay with what is, then what do? And so here are the 3 steps to shift into okayness when you're not okay. And what you might want to do at the moment is think of some area of your life that you're not in okayness with at the moment. And you might want to work through this exercise with that area of your life. So how to find okayness? The first step is awareness. And how you realize that you are not okay is that you're in one of these. You're in stress, you're in guilt, you're in anxiety, worry, regret, fear, upset. The first step to moving into okayness is, I'm not okay. I'm not feeling okay. And what you might want to do in that moment is close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel where it is in your body. And it is somewhere. It might be in your head, it might be in your chest, it might be in your stomach, it might be in your base. And sometimes it'll have an emotion attached to it. Sometimes you can say, okay, what emotion is this? Can I even name this emotion? What is this? What is this okayness, not okayness? And it might be anger, or it might be resentment, or it might be sadness. And if it's anger, is there anything underneath that? Because anger is normally a bodyguard for another emotion. So it's really just about feeling it, feeling the okayness. So getting present to the not okayness. It's not about, so none of our flow stuff is about taking a happy pill and pretending everything's okay. It's being about being really feeling what is present and then moving into ease with it. And that's how the third step comes in. So you get present, you do the exercise that we've just taken you through, you breathe, you cycle through your senses, and then you feel into your body, you feel this not okayness. Where is it in my body? How does it feel? Oh, I'm irritated, and I feel it in my chest, and it feels red and angry and a big lump. Terrible. Okay. And then you do what we call the okayness statement. And the okayness statement is one of the best tools that we have in our flow toolbox. And you say it out loud. We highly recommend you say it out loud. Even though this situation is not ideal, whatever the situation is that you're not okay about, in this moment, it's okay. And in this moment, I'm okay. And the reason why this is such a powerful statement is because obviously the situation is not ideal, otherwise you'd be okay with it, right? But in the present, everything is always okay. And what you'll find as you do this exercise moment by moment, in each moment, things are always okay. It is normally a projection into the future, your thoughts projecting into the future, or your thoughts thinking about the past that make things not okay. And in this moment, I'm okay, is because often when things happen, we make it mean stuff about ourselves. We take it personally. We make it mean I'm not good enough. I'm being rejected or abandoned here. Oh my goodness, I can't trust life. See, I was right. And we move into our wounding. And we move then back into the struggle. And so by just affirming to yourself that in this moment you're okay, you automatically shift out of those woundings in the struggle paradigm. So I'd like you to try it right now out loud. And Donna says, how fascinating. And that's another one of our flow tools.
Yeah, so you preempted one of our tools. And you can replace the word not ideal with really crappy or truly sucks. I've done that. Even though the situation really sucks right now.
Yeah, even though the situation is not what I wanted. Even though the situation is not what I expected. Even though my boss is being a real bitch. In this moment, it's okay. And in this moment, I'm okay. And you might have to repeat it a number of times to yourself. Number of times. Okay, so does that make sense? Are you repeating it? Write it down. Make sure you write it down. In your workbooks, you can write it down. So, the reason why this is so powerful also plays into the next thing that we wanted to share with you, which is how to shift your reality. So you're in something that's not okay. Your boss is being a real bitch, and it is frustrating the hell out of you. and you're getting not okay with it, you're making it mean that you're a failure and you're upset, and so you do this exercise and you feel it in your body and you feel this raging head stuff going on, and you get present and you say, even though the situation is not ideal, my boss is being a real bitch, in this moment it's okay, in this moment I'm okay. And you say that 10 times and then you suddenly feel okay. How do you then shift your reality? Because that's what we all wanted to do, right? How do I shift the reality to what I'm really wanting and what I really want to create? And that is when you are truly okay, and this is step 4, when you feel truly okay with where you're at, then you create. And this is where the magic happens. So only once you truly feel okay, then you think again about what it is that you want. Not sure why my little PowerPoint. There we go. It's getting ahead of itself. And it's okay. And I'm okay. Even though my PowerPoint is doing something, it's okay and I'm okay. So once you're truly okay and surrendered to what is, then you start thinking about the vision that you have and creating what you want. So it's a little bit like this. Here's the paradox of dreams and goals. And I found this in my work as a fairy godmother, and on Flow we see this all the time. Most people are trying to create what they want as a reaction. So most people are trying to create out of dissatisfaction. And I'll give you some examples. I'm fed up with being broke. Okay, so my dream and goal is I want 10 million rand. Or my dream and goal is I want to win the lottery. Or my dream and goal is I want to get a promotion at work so I earn more money because I'm sick of being broke. Or I'm fed up with being single. I'm so sad. I've had enough of being alone. Okay, so my dream and goal is a soulmate. But these dreams and goals are created out of dissatisfaction. They're created as a reaction to what you don't want. And what happens is when a dream or goal is created out of dissatisfaction or fear or upset, there is no power in that dream or goal. Power only comes when you create from ease. So let me give you an example. If you imagine a still pond, absolutely still, like glass, it's at ease, right? And then you throw in a pebble of intention. Throw in this vision that you want. Plop. And what happens is it ripples out. Because the pond is absolutely still and flat and at ease. However, if you have a pond that is tumultuous, a pond that is in dissatisfaction, a pond that is all wavy, and you throw your pebble of intention into that pond, what happens? Nothing. The dissatisfaction cancels out these ripples that you're trying to make go out in the world. So, Lindiwe is saying she can't wait to use this. Awesome, Lindiwe. And Elisa says she's settling into a foreign country and she can't wait to use ease either. So, Debbie, let's give you more. You're saying this makes absolute sense. Let me give you another example. It's like driving a car. Okay. When you are in dissatisfaction, when you are feeling upset and frustrated and then you're trying to create out of that space, it's like you're driving in reverse. So you're really wanting to go forward, but you're actually going in reverse. But you're like, okay, I want to be going forward. How many of you in your lives or in some areas of your life, you want to be going forward, but you're actually going in reverse? How many of you can relate to that feeling? You're like, oh my goodness, this is it. I'm going in reverse in that area. Erica says me. Yep. And then you get more dissatisfied and more upset and more frustrated and more like, or in circles. Yeah, because you're going in reverse in circles. Yeah, your steering wheel like this guy, Debbie, is like locked and you're going in reverse. So Raina says his life felt like that way until about 3 years ago. Okay, Raina. Got it. Great. So you've also had the feeling of mind, this feeling of moving forward. So if you're going in reverse, but you really want to be going forward, what is the first thing, if you're driving a car, what is the first thing you need to do? Just type in the answer. What's the first thing that you need to do? You're going in reverse, but you So Debbie says you've got to get into first gear. So Debbie, before you even get into first gear, you've got to do something. And Raina says stop. And you're absolutely right, Raina. You've got to stop. And what the stop is in this exercise is stop. I'm going in reverse. Just noticing, just that awareness that we talked about in the presencing exercise. Well, hold on, I'm going in reverse. Just stop, I'm going in reverse. And then getting present. Okay, take a few deep breaths in and out. And then I'm going to cycle through my senses. Where am I? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I feeling? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? Okay, I've now stopped. I'm no longer in reverse. And then you might find that your car does a little and still wants to go back in reverse. And you're like, okay, get out of the frustration, get out. Okay, stop. And you do the presencing exercise again. The presencing exercise is stop. Collaborate and listen, Mandy, that's just for you. I will empty Hammond.
That's funny people on our webinar. We laugh a lot.
So, yep, I baby, that's right. So you're going to stop. Okay, then we give you the other two steps. So the next step is, I was going to ask you, what's the next step? Now I'm all confused and fucking frustrated. Okay, we can turn our mic down. Sorry if it's too loud. We're getting excited here. Input volume. Right, we hope that's better, Judy. Let us know. Okay, so what's the next step? After you've stopped and you're wanting to go forward, you change gears and direction, says Anne. Awesome. You change gears and direction, and you're absolutely right. And Fraser, and I'm pleased there's less distortion. Thank you. Thank you, Judy, for letting us know. Awesome. The only way we find out is when people tell us. So, yeah, you have to, before you even choose direction, you stop, but then you change gear, and you change gear. But before you change gear, which gear do you get into first? What's the gear you move into first? So people are saying you get into first gear. And some people are saying you get into neutral. Even if you get into neutral for a split second, you have to go through neutral. From going from reverse into first gear, you have to go through neutral. Otherwise, you are going to completely stuff up your gearbox, right? And it's the same with life. You can't go from reverse to first. And that's what most people are trying to do. Most people are trying to jump from reverse to first and wondering why their gearbox is getting messed up. And so how you get into neutral is that ease and obtain statement that we gave you. Even though the situation is not ideal, in this moment, it's okay. In this moment, I'm okay. Right? I'm an okayness. So Lindy, where the stop is getting present, the neutral is still being in the present and then getting into the okayness. That's the neutral. I'm neutral. You're not, the okayness is not like, woohoo, I'm happy about this. The okayness is just like, even though it's not ideal, I'm okay, it's okay, I'm neutral. And then the next step is driving forward. And so the driving forward is, I see someone says we've disappeared. Can everyone else hear us? Okay, everyone else can hear us. All right, great. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn our mic up a little bit again. All right, so then you start driving forward, and driving forward is getting clear on the vision that you have, right? On what you really wanting to create in the situation. So what I'm really wanting to create is a collaborative environment, a work environment where I feel appreciated, approved of, fabulous, and I feel like I love my work. That's what I'm committed to. That's what I'm focused on. And there are some days that you won't be able to get into even driving forward. You'll only be able to get into neutral, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Does that make sense? How many of you can see yourselves wanting to apply this to certain of your areas of your life already, automatically?
There was a comment from someone, I can't remember who said it, but she said that she jumped straight from leaving corporate and right into starting her own business, and she didn't go past neutral, so there was no no decompression time, no time to just be, and then to focus on the new business.
Yeah. So, there is a soul force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. This is what the flow experience is all about. It's about opening ourselves up and being present to the soul force and to alleviate our resistance, to stop our conditioning, right? To get through that resistance so that we just open up to the soul force and allow it to produce miraculous results. So flow is surrendering to what is, being okay with what is, and creating what you want. And flow is also having a vision for the future and being at ease in the now, and then the doing arises as a result of that. And we call it inspired action. We call it effortlessness, and it's one of the things that we teach in the flow experience, how to move into effortlessness, where the doing automatically arises. You're not doing for the sake of doing. So, the good news is, here's the fabulous news, is that the fact that you are in awareness of the struggle paradigm just by being here tonight will help you shift it. And tonight, we've shared with you some key, very simple tools to connect you to ease and to connect you to flow. And we're going to share a really powerful one at the end of this live event with your 2 special gifts that we're giving you. And our flow tools on the flow experience are always pretty simple and easy because the foundation is ease. But we also teach many other foundations of flow apart from ease. And sometimes even these simple tools can bring up uncomfortable stuff. It can bring up fears, which is one of the reasons why it's so powerful to do this work in a community with others. And I'm sure many of you on this webinar this evening have loved just the interaction on the chat as you're interacting with others and reading other people's things and seeing their funninesses and seeing their humor and seeing where they're struggling and where you're having the same kind of struggle. And that's one of the beauties of doing things in community and doing things together with other people. So a quick recap on our flow.
Before you recap, can we just go to this question, because I think it's a good one. What if you get stuck in neutral, if we go off? And what I want to say to that is the only reason you would get stuck in neutral, which is like being in your comfort zone, is if you don't have your vision for your future. So when you do have a vision, there's no way you're going to stay stuck because you will start moving towards that vision because it literally pulls you along. So that's the only time that you would ever be stuck in neutral. So if you are feeling stuck in neutral, then it's about creating that vision. It's through these dream mapping processes, vision boarding, whatever process you want to do to find that vision. But it's about finding that vision that will then take you out of neutral and into first gear, because the vision gives you the direction. And this is one of the things that we cover on the flow experience as well, is how to move into vision and how to move into a vision that is aligned mind, body, and soul. It's not just an egoic vision. It's not a goal out of dissatisfaction. It's a goal out of true alignment of mind, body, and soul. So here are the flow tools that we shared with you tonight. We shared the daily morning mantra, let it be easy. So from tomorrow morning, first thing you're saying, and you can even say it out loud and raise your hands above your head, let it be easy. Being present, breathing, cycling your senses. Right? We did the okayness statement. Even though this situation is not ideal in this moment, it's okay. In this moment, I'm okay. And the tool number 4 is only creating out of ease or okayness. Don't try to create out of dissatisfaction. Move into neutral before you try to create. And tool number 5 is coming with your special gift. But before we get into that, we would love to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit more about our flow experience. And we would absolutely love to invite you to step into a relationship with us so that we can guide and support you to connecting to more flow in your life. And it's really the flow experience, an opportunity to go deeper into this work and to join our flow community with many other like-minded individuals like yourself who are supporting each other in creating out of this place of ease and creativity and presence and faith and awareness and consciousness. And initially, when Timea and I created our flow experiment, just the 2 of us together,
because we wanted to get out of the struggle and we knew there had to be an easier and more magical way to live. When we originally took this leap of faith and we dropped a whole lot of our past patterns and the old conditioning, and we really spent a lot of time developing the tools to help us get through that, because there was a lot of fear that came up. A lot of fear that came up for us initially in our flow experience, and we've seen this with a number of people who join flow, is that it brings out some stuff because we're very deeply conditioned to be in struggle and to be in stress. And so one of the things that we realized is because there were the two of us, it was really powerful to have the support and guidance of each other. And like Timea said, there were times when I wouldn't get triggered by stuff and I could hold her when she was like deeply triggered. And there were other times when I was triggered by stuff and wounded by stuff and she could hold the space for me. And it's just so wonderful to do any kind of personal development work and spiritual work and this kind of work in a space where you're held and guided. And that's what our flow experience really is. And because we know how easy it is to slip back into past patterns and to stress and what we call the world of muggles, which is, you know, a Harry Potter term for really the old conditioning that we're in rather than the world of magic. And so as we've been living this way, after about 9 months of living this way, Timea and I said to ourselves, can we create a community that's working with each other and where we are guiding them and they are also collaborating with us to help us live in flow? And that's why we created our flow experiment in 2014, which was a bit of a challenge for us because we didn't want it to run it like a program. And a number of you have done my other programs, and they're 9-week programs or 12-week programs or 21-day programs. And we didn't want to do this as a program for a few reasons. And first was because living in flow is not a quick fix thing. There are a lot of programs out there. There are a lot of programs on the internet that are promising that within a few days or within a few weeks, things will have shifted. But for us, living in flow is really a transformational journey. And we didn't want people to feel the pressure of having to do this module this week and that exercise next week and ticking all the boxes to get it all done, because that's more doing and that's more struggle and that's more deadlines and that's more old paradigms. I've got to work hard to make things happen kind of stuff. And we wanted people to have the spaciousness and gentleness and time to either deep dive into flow or to kind of swim around in the shallow end and just dip their toes in the shallow end for a few weeks or months before they felt more comfortable using these tools and living this kind of way. And we also know that sometimes life gets busy and you commit to doing a 6-week program and then in the middle you get busy and you stop the modules and you don't go back to it and then you feel like a failure because you didn't finish this program, etc. And so instead, we created a year-long community flow learning experience with ourselves as the facilitators. And we also wanted to create a safe space for people to transform and grow and flow in a space of real kindness and gentleness and love. And we had 105 people join us in September of 2014, and over 70 of them stayed on for past the first year, and over, I think, probably 55 of them have stayed on now for year 2. And we realized that it's no longer an experiment, it's really an experience, and we wanted to open it up to those of you who are interested in it this evening, to have this experience with us. And if it feels right for you at this time, we'd absolutely love to have you join us. The impact on people's lives has been really, really immense. And one of kind of our key flow success stories is Beth. And Beth joined us in September of 2014. She was going through a divorce. She was living in Johannesburg. She was hating it. She'd been in a job that she'd been doing for 15 years. And the way that she described her life at that time, it was pretty mundane. She didn't have the tools to create it otherwise. And she heard about the flow experiment, like you did. She was on a webinar that we did, and she just took the leap of faith. And 18 months later, she was living in Cape Town in a house that she loves. Her kids are happy. She's met a new man. And about 6 months ago, she started a new job. And if you speak to her, she says that flow has absolutely become a way of life for her. And even though there's still ups and downs and challenges, and there will be, we're not saying this is the happiness pill, woohoo. The way she is able to deal with them and create what she wants is completely different. And Beth is one of the many, many stories we tell. And in fact, on our website, which is flowexperience.com, flow-experience.com, you'll see loads of stories from our flowers of their incredible shifts.
I feel like I just have to share very briefly the story of one of our flowers who's on this webinar, Pani. Manita has been with us for just over a year now. And I won't share the details of her transformational journey, but she, in the time that she's been with us, has lost 40, I think now she's on 45 kilograms. And one of the biggest dreams that she had when she first joined us was to get out of corporate. And when she first started talking about it, she had a vision to get out of corporate in 5 to 10 years. And I said to her, honey, I'm not letting you stay in corporate for that long. And this September, she's now 2 weeks into her own career. She's becoming a transformational coach.
And a health,
wealth, and dreams are the 3 areas she's focusing on. But yeah, she joined Flow, and we just wouldn't let her wait 5 or 10 years, rotting away in her corporate accounting job. And so now she's left, and for 2 weeks now she's been out on her own. And she can share her own story, but I know she's had lots of fears and lots of anxiety come up, but also lots of magic, unbelievable amount of magic. And we gracefully hold her through her fears. So if she does want to share, she'll share a little bit in the type box. But because she's on here, I wanted to share her story. I'm like, she's actually with us. She's here in the energy. And her story is so absolutely incredible.
So for some of you who are feeling like, wow, that really sounds interesting, it feels like something that could be for me, but how does it work? What do I get? How do I participate? I'll spend a couple of minutes on that, and then we're going to get to our final exercise. So when you join Flow, you join for a minimum of a year. And the reason why we've done it for a minimum of a year is so that you have time to immerse yourself in it, and also to go through all the cycles of your life in a year, all the seasons, the busy times, the quiet times, the holidays, the anniversaries, the birthdays, etc. And what happens is every month we have a theme. And basically we teach into and facilitate the program based on these themes. And you'll get emails from us, you get a meditation from us every month to use to connect to the theme, and we do monthly live events like this one that you've been on this evening. So we do a 90-minute monthly live event. So you get course materials on the theme, you get the monthly meditation on the theme, you get, over the year, 12 times 90-minute webinars with us. Our webinars are on the Flow experience are also a lot more coaching as well. So you get to ask a lot more questions. We put people on microphone to coach you and to help you. And then we also do expert webinars with additional teachers. And then one of the key kind of powers of this whole thing is, so you might be wondering, what are some of the themes? And we've already done maybe 18, 19 different themes. And all of these themes are then contained in our Flow library that are available to you, and you can go back at any time. You can download those meditations. When you join now, you've got access to all of that content from those themes. So here are some examples of themes. So surrender is one of the themes that's coming up in the next few months. The hero's journey. What is the hero's journey? Why do we go through our ups and downs in life? How do we become the hero? How do we shift that? Receptivity. How many of you on this webinar this evening believe that it's better to give than to receive? Okay. How many of you believe that it's better to give than to receive? Receptivity is massive, and it's one of the reasons why many people don't have opportunities and magic coming into their life. They're not open to receiving it. Polarity. Why think about ups and downs? It's not always about being in the up, and so we're covering polarity shortly. Intuition. This is a theme that I'm very, very excited about covering at the moment. And we will be giving you lots of tools when we cover these themes. So you can use these themes right now as you're feeling into this program, and whether it's right for you, whether the Flow experience is right for you, you can feel that through your body. And that's one of the things that we deeply teach on Flow, feeling into things, allowing things to settle. In fact, Timmy and I will often say, oh, can I just feel into that? We'll be making a decision in our business, and we're running our business a lot on intuition at the moment. And so you can just like feel it in your whole body. You can even do that now, like, oh, is this flow experience a yes or a no for me? Can I feel it in my body? Ooh. But not what your mind says, not the mind chatter, the real feeling of it. And it may be a no, and that's cool. It may be a yes, but you're feeling nervous. And there's always a nervousness when you're moving into the next level of expansion. And that's part of intuition. And we go into real detail on our intuition theme about how to connect to your intuition. I'm very excited about that. One that's coming up very soon is our shadow self. All those nasty little bits of ourselves that we really don't want to see, but when we do see them, really take us into our power, our expression. So, Alexa, is this lesson going to be available on our website later? We will send you an email with a link. You will have the recording. You'll be able to listen to it. You'll be able to watch it. You will absolutely all have it. So what we also do on the flow experience is, and the power of the flow experience really resides not only in the content that we share with you from a teaching perspective, but most importantly from the community of people that you'll be connecting to and sharing with. And so what we have is our own Flow private Facebook group, which is the real hub of the connection of the community, and all the other flowers who are going through life, sharing their thoughts, their realizations, their inspirations, their ups, their downs around living in flow. And Timea and I are on that page often. We feedback, we coach, we guide from that space. And so many of our flowers connect with each other. Many organize to connect offline. They have flow gatherations. Today we saw on our Flow Facebook group that one of our flowers organized a mastermind Skype session with 4 other flowers last night, and they all got together on Skype and had an amazing connection and chat. And it's really, really powerful to do this in community and to support each other. So, and then finally, there's the Flow Experience website. This is a library, it's a treasure chest of all the content that's been developed over the last 2 years. So as a flower coming in now, you've really got a huge amount that you can dip into. And it's available to you whenever. And if you aren't able, in a month, if you get busy and you aren't able to kind of read all our emails or go on the webinar, you can always go back to the library at another time and dip in. So, and if you choose to join us, we have a few bonuses that for joining the Flow experience that really supplement and build into the Flow experience. So the first is an early registration bonus. If you register and join us by Wednesday the 22nd of September, which is next week Wednesday, you get my 12-week Growing Wings program, which is a program really about getting you clear on your dreams, your goals, your vision. So like you said, Lesejo, how do I get out of neutral, well, get clear on your dreams, goals, vision, and how to make it happen from a mind alignment of mind, body, soul perspective. That's the Growing Wings program. That's valued at 5,900 Rand, $590. Ordinary price, but you get that as a registration bonus if you join our Flow experience. There are other core bonuses that we give to you regardless of when you join us. Out of Fear into Fabulousness is a 21-day program. The GEM is also a 21-day program. It's about building your self-love, self-worth, self-appreciation. We also do 2 other bonuses, the Dream Mapping and Goal Setting Work Audio, that you can listen to and work through and create your own vision board. And finally, our guided meditation journey. And so the total value of all the bonuses, excluding the Growing Wings program, is $332. We're giving it to you in dollars because some people on this webinar this evening are not South Africans. They don't understand Rand, but we'll give you the Rand prices straight away. So for those of you that are South Africans. And we've got a real special bonus for those of you that have been on the webinar with us tonight. Thank you so much. We so appreciate your time being here on this webinar. And if you are like, yes, I'd love to join the Flow experience, I'd love to do it with these women, with Donna, with Timmy, then we would love to offer you a special bonus. It's a 24-hour sign-up bonus. So for those people who are sure, who are intuitively feeling like it's a yes, if you sign up within 24 hours, so by the end of tomorrow night, if you sign up, then you get a one-on-one coaching session with either Timmy or myself to really start you off on the Flow experience, and we'll get to delve into exactly where you're at, where you're stuck, and some tools straight away to help you. So you might be wondering, well, okay, what's the price? I'd love to join the flow experience. What's the pricing? And Timmy and I are so committed to expanding awareness and consciousness of flow in the world. We have made the pricing super, super, super affordable. So for those of you in South Africa that are wondering about the pricing, you can do 3 different types of payments. You can do an annual payment, which is 7,900 Rand at the moment, a quarterly payment of 2,100 Rand, or a monthly payment of 700 Rand per month over the 12 months. So it is a 12-month program. You can pay once or quarterly or monthly. And to get this special pricing, you need to register by the end of September. Our price is increasing at the beginning of October, and so that's why we're doing this webinar at the moment, and so you qualify for the special pricing if you do it by that time. For those of you that are in dollars, here's the dollar pricing. Our website will serve you pricing depending on where you are. For those of you, I know a number of you are in Namibia and Botswana, you will see Rand pricing. And so if you register by the 30th of September, the dollar pricing is $695 once or $187 every quarter, or $65 a month. Okay, so that gives you an idea of the pricing. We would love you to join us. The way you join us is you go to flow-experience.com. Timmy is just typing flow-experience.com into the type box. So you can click on that link straight away, and if you'd like to join us, you just go to our website, go to our sign-up process, and we'd love to have you with us. And if you'd like to sign up by this time tomorrow night, then you'll get that special 24-hour bonus of having one of us coach you for 45 minutes. Okay, so now you've listened to our whole thing about the flow experience. For some of you, it'll be like, yes, I'd love to. For some of you, it'll be like, no, not now. For some of you, it'll be like, no, not ever. Wherever you're at with us, we're absolutely okay because we're present. So it's okay, we're okay, you're okay, it's all good. And we're wanting to share with you finally our little close-eye exercise and then the bonuses that we've been promising you. I know we've run over time. It's already 9:07, but if you stick with us for 4 more minutes, we'll do the close-eye exercises, the bonuses, and then those of you who want to stay on and ask questions, you're more than welcome to do that. So take a deep breath in and out. And I see Nicole just said, best money I ever spent. Well, Nicole, we love having you on the flow experience. So deep breath in and out, and gently close your eyes. Allow your top eyelids to gently close into your bottom eyelids. And now become aware of your body on the chair. And become aware of your breathing as you breathe deeply in and out. And now imagine that there's a beautiful, warm, white light warming up the soles of your feet with the most exquisite sensation of relaxation. And that light's moving up your feet, into your calves, swirling around your knees, up into your thighs, your buttocks. And you're seeing that beautiful, warm, white light moving up into your stomach, filling your lungs, your chest. And now feel that beautiful white light moving up through your back, the right-hand side of your back, the left-hand side of your back, tingling all the way up your spine. And now feel that relaxation, that beautiful white light in your shoulders, and down through your arms, through your elbows, your forearms, and right through your fingertips, and now up into your head, your face, your neck, and right up out of the top of your head. Your whole body is filled with light and relaxation. And now bring your awareness to your heart area. And allow that part of your body to expand and open and feel really light and bright. And now I'm going to read some words to you, and I'd like you to allow these words to really rain down on you and sink through into your soul, into your beingness. This is a flow mantra. Today there is peace within. I trust that I am exactly where I am meant to be. I remember the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in myself and others. I use the gifts that I have received and I pass on the love that has been given to me. I am content with myself, just the way I am. I let this knowledge settle into my bones, and I allow my soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is here for each and every one of us. Now take a deep breath in and out. And I'm going to count slowly back from 5 to 1. You'll feel your awareness returning. You'll feel bright and light and energized. 5, 4, 3. Having felt the effect of these words, raining through your mind, body, and soul. 2 and 1. Blink your eyes together and open them. And welcome back. So I know a few people have left us, but we wanted to give you your special gifts for staying all the way to the end. Thank you to those of you that have stayed all the way to the end. Most of you have, which is absolutely awesome. And so the special gift, the first one that Timmy's just put, is what I've just read to you, and it's a rainbow-colored download that you can print out, you can stick on the wall. I have mine on my wall in my bathroom. You can have yours in your office or somewhere next to you, and say to yourself every day to connect into flow. I do it absolutely every morning as I'm brushing my teeth. I go to my flow mantra, and it's just like, real peace, real bringing me into connection with flow. And finally, one of our other special bonuses is one of our guided meditations, and it's called Your Extraordinary Potential Meditation. So you can get a taste of our meditations, and you can keep using this meditation to tap into the extraordinary being that you are. And so Timmy's put a link there. I see it hasn't quite come out. It's broken, so she's going to fix it. But if you click on the first one and the second one, you can download both of those. Those are your special gifts. Thank you. So we're now going to be open to doing a Q&A session. So if you're able to stay with us, great. If not, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time, your attention, your open-heartedness, and your real wanting to know about flow. Those of you who will be joining us to go even deeper into the flow experience, you can just click on the link, www.flow-experience.com, to join us, and we'd love to have you there. And for those of you who are not, please use these tools to connect into ease and to connect into your powerful potential. So,
and share them with others. We love the tools to make the right.
Absolutely, share this with others for sure. So, Timmy, you've got to come back into the spotlight. So, we're going to go into our Q&A now. But for those of you who are loving us and leaving us, thank you for being here. It's always so fabulous to connect with you. Thank you, thank you. And for those of you who it's your first webinar ever, well done. Woohoo!
Wasn't it fun?
For us, it's something that we absolutely love doing and love flowing through. So thank you. Those of you who still want to stay on, if you've got any questions, please feel free. You can type in the type box. If you want to be put onto microphone, we can also pop you on the microphone. So if any of you have questions, happy to answer any of your questions. You might have some questions about the flow experience itself. You might have some questions about these tools that we've just shared with you. You may have some questions about Timmy and I. Anything you want to ask, please feel free to ask.
I saw Raino made a comment earlier on about it not being so easy to create out of okayness. Raino, the advice is you've got to keep practicing. It's like a muscle, like we said, and it gets easier. It really gets easier and easier to start creating in this way, the more you practice.
Yeah. So Navasutu says, when do we do our flow retreats? Navasutu, we do our flow retreats a few times a year In fact, we've got one coming up in the McCallum. It's coming up from the 7th to the 9th of October. Details are on the Fairy Godmother website. In fact, Timea will put a link there now to details of the flow retreat. The flow retreat is 2 weekends. We start at 6 p.m. on a Friday. We end at about 4 p.m. on a Sunday. It is fabulous. We have the most delicious food. We facilitate. We teach you. There's yoga. There's relaxation, and we teach. And every flow retreat is different. In fact, I saw Georg and Frederica were on this webinar this evening. They have been on 2 flow retreats, and I'm sure they will say that were completely different retreats, because we really open them up to flow, and we really teach based on what the needs of the group are. Nicole, flow retreats are not part of the sign-up, so anyone can come to a flow retreat, and what we find is often people come to our flow retreats and then then go on to the year program, and vice versa. Often people go on to our flow experience and do the year program and then do the flow retreat. It's not part of the program because we have to pay for accommodation, and we put you up in lovely places in different parts of the country. And also because we have flow experiences from all over the world. So we've got flow experiences that are in the USA, London, Germany, Dubai, and South Africa. So we've got 5 or 6 countries. And Mozambique. And so, yeah, not able to offer that to everyone in all of those countries.
And beware, the meditation links and your flow mantra gift will both be emailed to you tomorrow, as well as a recording for this webinar. So you will be able to download it from there.
So Nelisa and Lesejo, I see you're both in Botswana, and you say any plans to come into Botswana. You know, one of the big things that we have when it comes to flow is following the guidance that life flows through us. And about 6 weeks ago, I was contacted by a promoter in Botswana who wanted me to go to Botswana and do some talks. And we chatted about provisional dates, and I said, oh, and the dates didn't work for me because I had a whole lot of stuff booked up. And I was just thinking about it 2 days ago, thinking, oh, I wonder if I should contact him about doing a trip to Botswana in maybe early January or February next year. So now that I see that again, Melissa, you are absolutely like a sign from the universe, like confirmation. Ooh, Botswana! So you told Lindsay we were going to be sending her the meditation link?
Yes.
Great. And then Dubai, you say, oh, Nicole Kapinga, fabulous to have you here. Awesome. You said Dubai. Yes, we've got two flowers in Dubai. They're lovely, and they meet with each other often. And we're starting to build a nice, strong contingent in Dubai. So, yeah, Nicole Kapinga, I know that you have been looking at flow for a long time. I know that in September 2014, you were like, ooh, should I join you? And if you're feeling that the time is right for you, we'd love to have you join us on the flow experience, and know that there are other flowers in Dubai, so you will be supported on the ground as well. Okay, awesome. Fabulous. And if anyone else has a question, let us know.
As you were just showing that, I just wanted to add that sometimes it is a process for people, like you were saying, Nicole was looking at it in 2014. Monica, who's also on this webinar, we started chatting about flow also 2 years ago, and she joined in February this year when she was ready. She was like, I wasn't ready when we first started chatting, but you planted the seed, and I've absolutely been watching you and watching the way you guys live and your teachings and what you're sharing. And then in February she was ready. In January she was ready. So it's absolutely about, like we were saying, you've got to feel into it. Is this right for you? And if we planted a seed, we definitely planted seeds, and we'll just wait for them to grow.
Yeah, and it was like Ursula. Ursula came on one of our flow retreats, and it was quite daunting for her. She was like, just even the concept of flow was quite like big for her. And she said, yeah, she quite liked this idea of the flow experience, but not now. And again, 7-8 months later, she came and she said, right, now I'm ready. So yeah, whenever you're ready, we're ready for you. We're living this work. We're loving this work. We're holding community space for this work. We're growing the community all the time. And, let it be easy. Exactly. Ndiwe, Nicole, let it be easy. So if you have another question, this is your last chance to ask it. Then we're going to close off. And anyone else got a question? thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It was amazing, and thank you for the laughter.
Yeah. Who did the collaboration listen? But I had to do it. And I thought.
I mean, it immediately came into my head as well.
Had to do it. Bit of that empty hammer. Was it empty hammer? Oh, vanilla ice. Oh my goodness, takes us back, right? Shows that we're in our 40s. We're in our 40s. Great. On that note, a huge, huge thank you to you all for being here, for spending an evening with us. We are so privileged to do this work. I am incredibly grateful to my partner, Timea, my partner in crime and in flow, who really was a big catalyst for this work in both our lives and certainly in our business. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, really cool.
Thank you. And I'm super grateful for you for coming along for the ride and being brave enough to do this.
Oh, Nicole Kavinga said, I didn't tell us about the love of my life. Oh, I forgot the love of my life. Oh, I have to do it on another webinar, I think, Nicole Kavinga. Do you want the story now? I'm wildly, desperately, fabulously in love. Yeah, I think it's got to be on another webinar.
Keep them waiting.
Keep them waiting. Big love to you all. Thank you so, so much for being here.
Everybody.
Good night.
Lots of love.
Bye.